The Arabic alphabet is first attested in its classical form in the 7th century. Early written Arabic used only rasm, which is essentially the same as today's Arabic script, except for a major difference, which is a lack of any dots or dashes to distinguish the letters. It is the basic skeleton shape shown in black. Later Arabs added short vowels or harakat indicated in blue color and i'jam or dotting shown in red color so that consonants that look alike could be distinguished. The reason for adding the short vowels and dots was to preserve the Arabic language and the Holy Quran from any mistakes in writing or pronunciation, which could easily distort the meaning, especially as Islam was rapidly growing and expanding, which meant many new Muslims were non-native Arabic speakers or learners. The lack of vowel signs in Arabic writing created ambiguities, especially for non-Arabs or non-native Arabic speakers who are reading the Quran. For example, in classical Arabic, the letters ka, ta, ba together could be kataba, he wrote, or kutiba, it was written, or kutub, books. When diacritics or harakat are added, the ambiguity is cleared. If you wonder how Arabs could read this, try reading the following sentence without vowels. You have probably read it correctly. I can read this text. Historically speaking, it was al-Aswad al-Du'ali, a Muslim scholar, poet, and grammarian from Iraq, who devised a system of dots to signal the 3 short vowels of Arabic. It was different from the system we know today. The system used red dots with each arrangement or position indicating a different short vowel. A dot above a letter indicated the vowel a dot below indicated the vowel e, a dot on the side of the letter stood for the vowel u, and 2 dots stood for what is known as tanween in Arabic. However, the early manuscripts of the Quran did not use the vowel signs for every letter requiring them, but only for letters where they were necessary for a correct reading. Later, a second black dot system was used to differentiate between letters that looked alike. I'jam or dotting, or what was simply called nuqat, that is, dots, represented the diacritic points that distinguished various consonants that have the same form or rasm. It was therefore used as a method of phonetic distinctions of consonants. If we look at this example here, these boat-shaped consonants look exactly the same. If we add i'jam or dots, the distinction is clear. Reading from right to left, the way Arabic script is read, we can distinguish the following letters: ba, ta, and tha. Nowadays, i'jam are not considered diacritics but part of the letter itself. PERF 558 is the first surviving Islamic Arabic writing and the first surviving document that definitely uses i'jam dots. This manuscript, dated in 643, shows extensive dotting of Arabic script. Diacritical dots on the letters shin, zay, dhal, kha, jim and noon are clearly visible. The reason for i'jam again is that in the 7th century, probably in the early years of Islam, while writing down the Quran, scribes realized that working out which of the ambiguous letters a particular letter was from context was laborious and not always possible, so a proper remedy was required. Writings in the Nabatean and Syriac alphabets already had sporadic examples of dots being used to distinguish letters which had become identical. By analogy with this, a system of dots was added to the Arabic alphabet to make enough different letters for classical Arabic's 28 phonemes. Sometimes the resulting new letters were put in alphabetical order after the undotted originals and sometimes at the end. Here is an image that describes the evolution of diacritics and dotting in Arabic calligraphy. The Basmala was taken as an example from Kufic Quran manuscripts. It reads, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of God, the All-Merciful, the Especially Merciful. Vowel pointing was introduced first as a red dot placed above, below or beside the rasm letter, and later consonant pointing or i'jam was introduced as thin, short, black single or multiple dashes placed above or below the rasm. These i'jam became black dots about the same time as the harakat became the small black letters or strokes. Let's look at the timeline. Stage 1, early 9th century, script with no dots or diacritic marks. Stages 2 and 3, 9th to 10th century under Abbasid dynasty. al-Aswad system established red dots with each arrangement or position indicating a different short vowel. Later, a second black dot system was used to differentiate between letters like fa and qaf. Stage 4, 11th century. In al-Farahidi's system, the system that we know today, dots were changed into shapes resembling the letters to transcribe the corresponding long vowels. Al-Farahidi's system is considered the precursor to the system we know today. Al-Farahidi found that the task of writing using two different colors was tedious and impractical. Another complication was that i'jam had been introduced by then, which, while there were short strokes rather than round dots seen today, meant that without a color distinction that the two could become confused. Accordingly, he replaced harakat with small superscript letters, small alif, ya and waw for the short vowels corresponding to the long vowels written with those letters, a small sheen for shadda, geminate, a small kha for khafif, short consonant, no longer used. His system is essentially the one we know today. Al-Khalil ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi authorized the first Arabic dictionary and book of Arabic prosody, and his student Sibawayh authorized the first book on theories of Arabic grammar. To review, early written Arabic used only rasm or letter shapes, which included similar looking letters and created confusion. Later Arabs added dotting for short vowels and to distinguish similar looking consonants. The dots for short vowels evolved to the modern shapes that we know today. Modern Arabic is always written with i'jam or consonant pointing, but only for religious texts, children books and works for learners. They are written with full tashkil or vowel guides and consonant length. It is not uncommon for authors to add diacritics to a word or letter when the grammatical case or the meaning is deemed otherwise ambiguous. In addition, classical works and historic documents rendered to the general public are often rendered with the full tashkil to compensate for the gap in understanding resulting from the stylistic changes over the centuries.